What if the woman who seems to light up your world is secretly dimming your peace? Picture her smile, her charm, her magnetic presence, but beneath it all, a shadow that leaves you drained, questioning your worth. The truth might surprise you. Have you ever felt a quiet unease, a gut instinct that something's off even when she's at her most enchanting? Stoic wisdom reveals the subtle signs of a toxic woman, hidden in plain sight, that could be stealing your time and clarity. Could the company you keep be shaping not just your happiness but your very soul? Dive into 7 Stoic-inspired signs that expose an evil woman next to you. Knowledge that empowers you to guard your peace and live with unshakable strength. 7 Evident signs of an evil woman. A Stoic guide to protecting your peace. Imagine a bustling evening. The kind where laughter spills into the air and conversations hum with life. You're deep in a moment, feeling alive when a woman enters the scene. Her presence is magnetic. Her smile disarms. Her words weave a spell, and for a fleeting moment, the room feels brighter. But then as time passes, something shifts. The warmth fades, replaced by a subtle chill. You find yourself second-guessing, exhausted, your peace unraveling in ways you can't quite pinpoint. Sound familiar? If you've lived long enough, you've crossed paths with someone like this. A woman whose charm masks a darker truth, whose actions drain rather than uplift. Stoicism, the ancient philosophy of wisdom, resilience, and clarity, teaches us that our happiness hinges not just on our thoughts but on the company we choose. As Marcus Aurelius wisely noted, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. But he might have added that it also depends on those you allow into your inner circle. Not every smile is sincere, and not every hand extended is meant to hold yours. Life is too precious to squander on women who sap your energy, cloud your judgment, or leave you feeling less than whole. Today we're unveiling 7 evident signs of an evil woman. Traits so clear, once seen, you'll never unsee them. This isn't about judgment or bitterness. It's about wisdom, about recognizing who deserves your time and who's merely there to take it. Rooted in Stoic principles and illuminated by modern insights, these signs will empower you to protect your peace and live with purpose. Ready to sharpen your clarity? Let's begin. She's forever the victim, never the victor. Picture a woman, seated across from you, her voice soft, her eyes brimming with tales of woe. Every story she tells, whether about a rude cashier, a disloyal friend, or a string of exes who never understood her, casts her as the wounded hero, perpetually wronged by a cruel world. At first, her vulnerability tugs at your heart. You listen, you nod, maybe even feel a surge of protectiveness, thinking, she just needs someone to treat her right. But as weeks turn to months, the pattern emerges like a storm cloud on a clear day. She's always the victim, and the world is always to blame. This is the first sign of an evil woman. A relentless victimhood that's less about healing and more about control. She paints vivid pictures of betrayal and injustice, each tale meticulously crafted to elicit sympathy and deflect responsibility. The grocery clerk was rude, her boss sabotaged her promotion, her family favored her sibling. Everyone, it seems, is out to get her. If you're not vigilant, you'll fall into her narrative, cast as the hero who must save her, or, worse, the villain, when you dare to question her script. Consider Tom, a kind-hearted man I once knew, who met such a woman after his divorce. She seemed open, sharing stories of her ex's deceit, her workplace's unfairness, and her childhood's neglect. Tom admired her resilience, but soon the stories became a loop. Every job ended in drama, every friendship in betrayal, every conflict with her as the blameless martyr. When Tom gently suggested she might share some responsibility, her response was swift. Tears, accusations, and a cold shoulder that left him apologizing for days. He realized too late that her victimhood wasn't a phase, it was a strategy. By framing herself as the eternal sufferer, she controlled the narrative, ensuring Tom's energy was spent reassuring her rather than building a mutual bond. Stoicism offers clarity here. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." A woman trapped in victimhood rejects this power, surrendering to circumstances and demanding others carry her emotional load. She thrives on sympathy, not solutions, draining your patience and peace. Over time, her refusal to own her role in conflicts pulls you into a cycle of chaos where you're either her savior or her scapegoat. Science supports this. Studies in Personality and Social Psychology Bulletin, 2020, show that chronic victimhood correlates with manipulative behaviors as it shifts accountability and maintains control over others' emotions. What can you do? Recognize the pattern early. Offer compassion but don't become her emotional crutch. Set boundaries. Listen, but don't rescue. If her stories never evolve, if every conflict ends with her blameless, step back quietly. Stoic wisdom reminds us that peace lies within, not in fixing others' chaos. Are you ready to stop playing the hero in someone else's endless tragedy? She thrives on drama, not harmony. Imagine a quiet evening, the kind where you're savoring a moment of calm, perhaps reading or sharing a simple meal. Suddenly she storms in, her voice sharp, her eyes alight with a spark that's both unsettling and familiar. A minor slight. Maybe you didn't respond to her text quickly enough, or seemed distracted during her story. Spirals into a full-blown argument. Hours later, you're exhausted, apologizing for something you barely understand while she seems oddly energized, as if the conflict fueled her. This is the second sign. She's addicted to drama, a woman who treats life as a stage and chaos as her script. Unlike the occasional emotional flare-up we all experience, her drama is a constant. Peace bores her. Stability makes her restless. If life grows too calm, she'll ignite a spark, perhaps a pointed comment, a sudden mood swing, or an imagined slight, just to feel alive. You're pulled into her whirlwind, defending yourself against accusations, soothing her manufactured crises, and wondering how a quiet moment turned into a battlefield. This isn't accidental. It's her comfort zone. Drama gives her control, keeping her at the center of attention while others scramble to keep up. Seneca's wisdom cuts through. An angry man opens his mouth and shuts his eyes. A drama-addicted woman isn't seeking truth or resolution. She craves the rush of emotional intensity. She's blind to reason, driven by impulse, and you're merely a prop in her play, whether as the antagonist she battles or the audience she captivates. The danger lies in how easily you're swept up. You might think you're helping, calming the storm, but you're only feeding it. Over time, her chaos erodes your stillness, leaving you reactive, anxious, and walking on eggshells, dreading the next outburst. A 2021 study in Journal of Personality found that drama-prone individuals often exhibit traits of histrionic personality, thriving on attention and conflict, which exhausts their partner's mental health. How do you respond? Embrace stoic distance. As Epictetus taught, you can't control others, only your response. Step back emotionally. Observe her chaos without diving in. Don't argue or appease. Let her waves crash alone. If the drama persists, create physical distance. Your peace is your power, and no one's script should steal it. Will you choose stillness over her storm today? 3. She wields guilt as a weapon. Guilt is a heavy chain, invisible yet crushing, and some women wield it with surgical precision. Picture this. You cancel a date to focus on a work deadline, and her response is a quiet sigh, a downturned gaze, or a chilling silence that screams, "I thought I mattered." You reassure her, rearrange your priorities, and soon find yourself sacrificing your needs to avoid that sinking feeling in your chest. This is the third sign. She controls through guilt, manipulating your emotions to keep you tethered to her desires. At first, her sensitivity seems endearing. She's upset when you take time for yourself, or she goes quiet when you prioritize your goals. You think she just needs love, so you give more, canceling plans, apologizing for harmless choices, bending your boundaries to ease her disappointment. But the guilt never fades, it grows. Her unspoken expectations become a currency, traded in sighs, subtle jabs, or withheld affection. You're no longer choosing freely. You're reacting, driven by the fear of failing her. A 2019 study in emotion revealed that guilt-inducing behaviors activate brain regions tied to physical pain, explaining why her tactics feel so visceral. I recall a friend, James, who dated a woman who mastered this art. When he wanted a weekend alone to recharge, she'd respond with, "I guess I'm not important enough." Her words were soft, but they cut deep. James found himself justifying every decision, from working late to visiting family, until he barely recognized his own priorities. Her guilt trips rewrote his life, making him the villain in her story whenever he dared to choose himself. Epictetus offers a Stoic antidote. No man is free who is not master of himself. When guilt guides your actions, you've surrendered your freedom. To break free, act from reason, not fear. Set clear boundaries. Offer what aligns with your values, not what appeases her. When she pulls the guilt card, stay calm and resolute. A man grounded in his principles is untouchable. Are you ready to reclaim your freedom from her chains of guilt? Her heart lacks empathy. Life's hardest moments, loss, illness, failure, reveal who truly stands by you. Imagine sharing a raw, vulnerable truth, a brutal week at work, a family crisis, or a quiet grief, and receiving only a fleeting glance before she shifts the conversation to her own trivial concerns. This is the fourth sign. She lacks empathy, a void that leaves you feeling more alone in her presence than in solitude. At first, her detachment might seem subtle. You mention feeling drained, and she barely acknowledges it, pivoting to her own complaints. You open up about a personal struggle, and she brushes past it as if your pain is an inconvenience. Over time, the pattern becomes undeniable. She doesn't care to understand your inner world. Her emotional range is shallow, her presence a performance rather than a connection. I knew a man, David, who dated such a woman after losing his father. When his grief surfaced, she grew restless, offering platitudes before steering the conversation to her own plans. He felt lonelier with her than in his darkest moments alone. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Extend this to your relationships. Waste no time hoping someone will grow empathy. It's not a skill to be taught. It's a trait that's either present or absent. An empathetic woman doesn't need to fix you. She listens, she stays, her presence a quiet strength. Without empathy, you're miles apart, even side by side. A 2022 study in social psychological and personality science linked low empathy to strained relationships as partners feel unseen and undervalued. What's the Stoic response? Accept what is, not what you wish for. If she can't meet your struggles with compassion, she's not your ally for life's storms. Walk away, not in anger but in clarity, choosing those who hear your heart. Will you honor your need for true connection today? 5. She's obsessed with superficial shadows picture. A woman whose eyes light up not for kindness or shared moments, but for the gleam of status, designer labels, social media likes, or the envy of others. Her world revolves around appearances. The size of the house, the brand of the shoes, the applause of strangers. This is the 5th sign. She's obsessed with superficial things, measuring life by what shines on the surface, rather than what endures within. At first, her focus on nice things might seem harmless. Who doesn't enjoy a touch of luxury? But her obsession runs deeper, tied to status, approval, and superiority. She judges herself, and you, by external markers. No matter your achievements, they're never enough. There's always someone richer, flashier, higher on the ladder. You're trapped in a competition you didn't enter, your worth tied to what you provide, not who you are. I knew a man, Mark, whose girlfriend pushed him to upgrade his car, his wardrobe, for appearances. He earned well, but her demands left him drained, chasing a finish line that kept moving. Epictetus warned, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." A superficial woman is never content. Her desires are a broken jar, leaking endlessly. She chases externals, stoic indifference, that add nothing to character or virtue. Her emptiness pulls you into a cycle of striving, where peace is sacrificed for fleeting validation. A 2020 study in Journal of Consumer Culture linked materialism to lower life satisfaction as external pursuits erode inner fulfillment. How do you respond? Refuse the chase. Value your character over her scorecard. If her priorities remain shallow, walk away, not out of bitterness, but to guard your peace. A stoic man knows true wealth lies in a life of meaning, not mirrors. Will you choose substance over shadows today? 6. She refuses to admit. She's wrong. Imagine a simple disagreement, perhaps over a missed plan or a careless remark, that escalates into a battle of wills. You present facts, explain calmly, even offer evidence, but she twists the narrative, deflects with emotion, or accuses you of attacking her. This is the 6th sign. She can't admit she's wrong, her pride a fortress that truth cannot breach. Her refusal isn't mere stubbornness, it's a pattern. She defends every mistake, from small oversights to hurtful actions, as if being wrong threatens her identity. If facts fail her, she shifts the ground. Suddenly it's about your tone, your intentions, or how you always misunderstand her. You're left exhausted, the original issue buried under her deflections. Psychologically, this stems from a fragile ego, as noted in a 2021 Journal of Personality and Social Psychology study. Those who can't admit fault prioritize self-protection over growth, stunting relationships. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If anyone can refute me, show me I'm making a mistake, I'll gladly change. It's the truth I'm after." A woman who rejects this wisdom sacrifices growth, trust, and connection. Her need to be right turns partnership into competition, leaving you to carry the burden of reason alone. What's the Stoic way? Seek humility in yourself and your partner. If she can't say I was wrong, she's walled off from love's deepest bonds. Choose someone who values truth over pride, or walk away to preserve your clarity. Will you prioritize truth over her fortress today? 7. She disrespects your time, your most precious currency. Time is the one currency you never reclaim. Money can be earned, health fought for, but time, once spent, is gone forever. Picture a woman who treats your minutes as disposable. She's late, cancels plans last minute, or forgets commitments entirely. You wait, adjust your schedule, sacrifice moments with friends or passions, only to be met with excuses or indifference. This is the 7th sign. She disrespects your time, a careless act that reveals her disregard for you. I knew Richard, a disciplined contractor who dated Elise, a woman whose charm masked her flippancy. She was perpetually late, 20 minutes, then 40, canceling plans with vague reasons or forgetting them outright. Richard, patient at first, soon found himself rescheduling work, delaying trips, and waiting alone in restaurants. Her disregard became a pattern, not of busyness but of disrespect. "I'm always waiting," he admitted, his voice heavy with realization. Her actions said his time, and thus his life, mattered little. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." A woman who disrespects your time wastes your life, stealing moments you'll never recover. Epictetus asked, "How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself?" The answer is now. What's the Stoic response? Value your time fiercely. Set expectations, punctuality, reliability, and hold firm. If she can't honor your minutes, she doesn't honor you. Walk away, not in anger, but to reclaim your most sacred resource. Will you guard your time as fiercely as your peace today? Forge your path to unshakable peace. The women who drain your energy, cloud your clarity, or steal your time don't deserve a seat at your table. These 7 Stoic signs: perpetual victimhood, drama addiction, guilt manipulation, lack of empathy, superficial obsession, refusal to admit fault, and disrespect for your time, are your guide to recognizing who lifts you up and who pulls you down. Stoicism teaches us to choose wisely, to guard our peace with the same vigilance we guard our lives. Your happiness, your strength, your very soul depend on the company you keep. Who will you choose to walk beside you today? If this journey into Stoic wisdom has sparked clarity or stirred your resolve, don't let it end here. Join our vibrant community at the Daily Stoic Life on YouTube, where we dive deeper into the principles that empower you to live with purpose, resilience, and unshakable peace. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and become part of a movement dedicated to mastering life's challenges with Stoic strength. Share this with someone who needs to see these signs. They might find the clarity they've been seeking. In the comments, let's ignite a conversation. What's a sign you've noticed in a toxic relationship, and how did you reclaim your peace? If you're unsure what to write, just drop "I love this" to show you're part of this journey. Your story could light the way for others. Stay wise, stay stoic, and we'll see you in the next video.